She said, "My friends and I are using your lake house this weekend. Don't be weird about it. After trashing my apartment last week." I replied, "Have fun." Then I called the property management and canceled her access code. Their SUV full of coolers was stuck at the gate for hours. I, 29 male, need to get this off my chest because I'm still processing what just went down this past weekend. My ex-roommate Chloe, 27, might be the most entitled person I've ever encountered. And that's saying something. Quick backstory. Chloe was my roommate for about 8 months. We weren't friends before. She answered my Craigslist ad when my previous roommate moved for work. First few months were fine. Typical roommate stuff. Then she started treating our shared apartment like her personal party venue. Last weekend was the final straw. I was visiting my parents, came back Sunday night to find my apartment absolutely destroyed. I'm talking red wine stains on my couch, cigarette burns on my coffee table, we're a non-smoking building, broken glass everywhere, someone had puked in my bathtub. My bedroom door was kicked in, the lock was broken. Someone had obviously been hooking up in my bed because the sheets were... Yeah. Security footage from the building showed Chloe letting in about 15 people Saturday night. When I confronted her, she literally shrugged and said, "Don't be so uptight, it was just a party. I'll Venmo you for the door." I gave her 30 days notice to move out. She called me dramatic, but found a new place within 2 weeks and moved out Wednesday. Didn't clean anything, didn't pay for damages, just bounced. Then Thursday afternoon, I get this text. "Chloe, hey, me and my girls are using your lake house this weekend for Jasmine's birthday. We'll be there Friday, Sunday. Don't be weird about it, Kay?" See, here's the thing. My family does have a lake house about 2 hours north. Chloe knew about it because I'd mentioned it a few times, even showed her photos. What she didn't know? It's not technically mine. It belongs to my uncle, but our whole family uses it through a property management company that handles bookings. We all have access codes. I'd made the mistake of bringing Chloe and a few others up there once, like 4 months ago. For a chill weekend, she must have noted the gate code or something. But that code, it was tied to my access account. I texted back, "Have fun." Then I immediately called the property management company. Explained that I needed to update my security access for safety reasons. Someone I no longer trusted had potentially gotten my code. They were super understanding, immediately deactivated my old code and issued me a new one. Also put a note on the account that no guests were authorized under my name this weekend. Friday comes around. I'm at work, living my life, when around 6 p.m. my phone starts blowing up. 17 missed calls from Chloe, 8 from an unknown number. Texts flooding in. "Chloe, the code isn't working. This isn't funny. We drove 2 hours. Hello? There's no cell service here, you need to call the property people." Unknown number. "Hi, this is Jasmine, Chloe's friend. We're stuck at your lake house gate and the code isn't working. Can you send the new one?" I didn't respond to any of them. Put my phone on Do Not Disturb and went to see a movie. Checked my phone around 10 p.m. 52 missed calls between Chloe and 3 unknown numbers. The texts had evolved from angry to desperate to absolutely unhinged. But the best part? The property management company has a security camera at the gate. My uncle, who's on the account, forwarded me the footage Saturday morning. It shows Chloe's white SUV pulled up to the gate at 5:43 p.m. Friday. They try the code multiple times. One girl gets out and appears to be screaming at the keypad. They sit there for 3 hours. You can see them unloading coolers trying to figure out what to do. At one point, 2 of them try to climb the fence. It's 8 feet high with pointed tops. Yeah, good luck. Finally, around 9 p.m., they give up and drive away. The texts kept coming all weekend. Apparently, they tried to get a hotel, but everything was booked because of some local festival. They ended up driving back home Friday night. Saturday morning, I got a text from Jasmine's number. "You ruined my birthday weekend. We all took time off work for this. How can you be such an awful person?" I finally responded, "I'm not sure what you're talking about. Chloe told me you were using my lake house, but I don't own any property." Maybe she was confused. The aftermath texts from Chloe were gold. She went from threatening to sue me for what? To calling me pathetic, to saying I owed her and her friends money for their gas and emotional distress. to finally admitting she never had permission, but I shouldn't be such a dick about it because normal people share. The entitlement is just astronomical. She really thought she could trash my apartment, move out without paying for damages, then just announce she was using my family's property like it was her divine right. My uncle thinks the whole thing is hilarious. He actually sent me a screenshot from the property management company showing someone tried to call them Friday night, claiming to be the owner's daughter, demanding the gate be opened. They have protocols for this. Asked for the account holder's verification info, which obviously Chloe didn't have. I'm still getting the occasional rage text from her or her friends, thinking about blocking them all, but honestly, the messages are too entertaining. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Update 1. Okay, so this escalated in ways I didn't expect. Grab popcorn. Monday morning after the lake house incident, I get a call from my landlord. Chloe apparently called them claiming I illegally evicted her and she wants back in the apartment. She told them she never received proper notice and that I changed the locks while she was away. Fortunately, I had everything documented. Sent the landlord the written 30-day notice I gave her, which she signed, photos of the apartment destruction, security footage of her moving out with all her stuff on Wednesday, screenshots of her texts acknowledging she moved out. Landlord was like, yeah, no, she has no case here. But then he mentioned something interesting. She'd called multiple times, each time with a different story. First, she was illegally evicted. Then I was harassing her. Then I was withholding her security deposit. She never paid one because she took over someone else's lease. Tuesday, things got weirder. I get a DM on Instagram from someone named Bradley. Says he's Chloe's new boyfriend, and I need to man up and pay for the emotional damage I caused. His message was this long rant about how I humiliated Chloe in front of her friends, how she's been crying all week, and how a real man would have just let them use the house. I didn't respond, but I did look at his profile. Dude's been dating Chloe for maybe 2 weeks based on his posts. 2 weeks, and he's already fighting her battles? Good luck with that, Bradley. Wednesday was when Chloe went full nuclear. She made a TikTok. I kid you not, she made a whole TikTok about me being a controlling narcissist ex-roommate. The video was her fake crying while text overlay told this completely fabricated story about how I was obsessed with her, wouldn't let her have friends over, and then vindictively locked her out of a family property I promised she could use. The thing is, Chloe has like 12K followers. She thinks she's an influencer. The video started getting traction. Some of her followers found my Instagram and started sending me messages calling me trash, an abuser, saying I have small dick energy, etc. But here's where Chloe messed up. In her video, she showed parts of our text conversation, but she edited them to remove context. Like she showed me saying, have fun, but cut out her message about just taking the house. She showed her texts asking for the gate code, but not the ones where she admitted she never had permission. So I did something petty. I commented on the video with screenshots of the full conversation, including her admitting she trashed my apartment, her saying she was just going to use the property without asking, her admitting she knew it wasn't mine, the photos of my destroyed apartment, her texts threatening me after she couldn't get in TikTok, deleted my comment within an hour, but not before a bunch of people saw it. The tide started turning in the comments. People started calling her out for being entitled, for destroying property, for lying. Chloe deleted the video by Thursday morning, but the damage was done. Someone had already made a response video calling her out with all my receipts. That video got more views than hers ever did. Thursday afternoon, Bradley texts me again. This time he's mad that I publicly humiliated his girlfriend. Says I'm jealous and pathetic, and that he's going to come to my apartment to settle this man to man. I replied with one message: any further contact from you or Chloe will be considered harassment and I will involve the police. This is your only warning. Friday morning, and this is the best part, I get a call from the property management company. Apparently someone, guess who, had been calling them all week, claiming to be various people. First, she was my sister, then my girlfriend, then my business partner. each time trying to get access to the property. The final straw was when she claimed there was an emergency and she needed to get into the house to retrieve life-saving medication. The property company takes fraud seriously. Like, really seriously. They have all her calls recorded. They have her admitting in one call that she's a close friend who uses the property all the time, and in another claiming to be a family member. That's attempted fraud. They asked if I wanted to pursue charges. I said absolutely yes. So now Chloe has a bigger problem than a ruined birthday party. The property management company is working with their legal team and local law enforcement about her attempted fraud to gain access to a property she has no rights to. But wait, there's more. Saturday night, I'm out with friends when I get a call from an unknown number. I don't usually answer, but something told me to pick up. It was Chloe's mom, Deborah. This woman had the audacity to lecture Emmy about being the bigger person. She goes on this rant about Chloe is a free spirit who doesn't understand boundaries and that I should be more understanding. She actually said, and I quote, "Young people share everything these days. You millennials are supposed to be all about communal living and sharing economy. Why are you being so possessive? Ma'am, your daughter is 27, not 7. Also, we're both millennials." I told her that her daughter destroyed my apartment, attempted to use property that wasn't hers, and then committed fraud trying to access it. Her response? Well, if you hadn't been so mean about the apartment situation, she wouldn't have needed to blow off steam at the lake house. The entitlement runs in the family. I ended the call with, "Your daughter is potentially facing fraud charges. I suggest you get her a lawyer instead of calling me." Sunday morning, one final update to this week of insanity. Remember those 3 friends who were with Chloe at the gate? One of them, Alicia, actually reached out to apologize. Her message was basically, "Hey, I wanted to apologize for my part in all this. I thought Chloe had permission to use the house. She told us it was all arranged and you were cool with it. When we got stuck at the gate, she told us you were just being petty about the apartment stuff. But after seeing everything online and finding out she lied about having permission, I'm done with her. She still owes me $200 for the hotel that night. Yeah, we ended up finding one, but it was 2 hours away and expensive AF. Just wanted you to know, not all of us knew she was lying." I thanked Alicia for reaching out. Apparently, Chloe's friend group is imploding because she owes multiple people money, and this isn't the first time she's lied about having access to things, places, events. Current status, Chloe is still texting from new numbers every few days with alternating threats and sob stories. Bradley has gone quiet, smart move. The property management company is moving forward with their fraud investigation, and my apartment is finally repaired and peaceful. The best part? I found out from a mutual acquaintance that Chloe had already posted on social media about her amazing birthday weekend at the lake before she even left. She'd hyped it up to everyone, posted pictures of the house from when I'd brought her months ago, and made it this whole thing. The embarrassment of having to explain why they never made it past the gate must be eating her alive. Update 2. This will be my last update because I'm ready to put this whole saga behind me, but you all deserve to know how it ended. So the fraud investigation was moving forward. The property management company doesn't mess around. They've dealt with this kind of thing before, apparently. They had recordings of Chloe claiming to be different people, and here's the kicker. In one of the calls, she actually said she was entitled to use the property because she paid rent to someone who has access. That's not how anything works. 2 weeks ago, I get served with papers. This lunatic actually tried to sue me in small claims court for deliberate infliction of emotional distress, breach of verbal contract. Apparently me saying "have fun" constituted a contract, lost wages from missed work, her friends took time off, travel expenses for 5 people, defamation from the TikTok situation. Total, she was seeking $4,500. My uncle immediately hooked me up with his lawyer friend who literally laughed when he read the filing. He said it was the most unhinged small claims filing he'd seen in years. Court date was set for last Thursday. I showed up with all text conversations printed and highlighted, photos of my destroyed apartment with repair invoices totaling $3,200. the signed 30-day notice she'd received, screenshots of her social media posts admitting to throwing the party, a letter from the property management company about the fraud attempts, security footage from both the apartment building and the lake house gate. Chloe showed up with Bradley, who looked like he'd rather been anywhere, and her mom, no lawyer. The judge? Y'all, I've never seen someone look so tired. Chloe started rambling about how we had a verbal agreement and how I emotionally manipulated her by not telling her the code was changed. The judge stopped her and asked one simple question. Did the plaintiff ever have permission from the property owner to use this lake house? Chloe tried to spin it. Well, he brought me once, so obviously. That's a no. Did the defendant ever explicitly give you permission to use the property on the weekend in question? He said, have fun, which means, did you inform him you were going, or did you ask permission? Chloe went quiet. Then her mom stood up and started yelling about how I was a controlling, vindictive person and how this was harassment of a young woman. The judge threatened to hold her in contempt if she didn't sit down and stay quiet. Then it was my turn. I calmly presented everything. The judge was particularly interested in the apartment damage and the fraud attempts. When I showed the security footage of them trying to climb the fence, someone in the gallery actually snorted with laughter. The judge's ruling? Chloe's case was dismissed entirely. She was ordered to pay me $3,200 for the apartment damages. The judge recommended the property management company pursue their fraud case. She was given a stern warning about frivolous lawsuits. Chloe absolutely lost it. Started crying and screaming that it wasn't fair, that I had set her up, that the judge was biased. Her mom joined in, yelling about discrimination and how they were going to appeal. You can't appeal small claims in our state, lol. Bradley just walked out, literally just stood up and left while Chloe was melting down. That relationship lasted about 3 weeks total. Security had to escort Chloe and her mom out. As they were leaving, Chloe screamed that she was going to ruin my life and that I'd regret this. It's been a week since court. The update on the fraud charges, the property management company decided to pursue it. She's been formally charged with attempted fraud and criminal impersonation. Her court date for that is next month. I likely won't need to testify, but they have all the evidence they need. The aftermath. Chloe's Instagram is now private, but apparently she's been posting about being victimized by the system. She hasn't paid the $3,200 yet, but I can garnish wages if needed. Found out from Alicia that their entire friend group has cut Chloe off. My building added me to their do not allow list for Chloe after I showed them the court ruling. Bradley apparently tweeted about dating crazy, real classy dude. The most satisfying part? Last Friday, a process server showed up at my door. I thought Chloe was trying something new. Nope. Turns out one of her friends from the birthday weekend is suing her for the money they spent on gas, hotel, and taking time off work based on her false promises. Alicia texted me that at least 3 people from that trip are taking her to small claims. The pyramid of consequences is beautiful, all because she couldn't just be a decent roommate and thought the world owed her access to whatever she wanted. My uncle still randomly sends me screenshots from the gate camera footage with captions like, "Still the best entertainment I've had all year." He's thinking about using it as a Christmas card. My apartment is peaceful. I've got a new roommate who actually pays rent on time and doesn't throw ragers, and I learned a valuable lesson about properly vetting people before letting them into your life. To everyone asking if I feel bad, nope. Not even a little. She had so many opportunities to just be a normal, respectful person. She chose entitlement and chaos instead. Now she's facing fraud charges, owes me thousands, is being sued by multiple people, and has no friends left. As for me, I'm doing great. The property management company actually gave my family a discount on our next booking as an apology for having to deal with all this, even though it wasn't their fault. Planning to head up there next weekend with a new code that actually works. Thanks for following this wild ride. Remember kids, no is a complete sentence and entitlement has consequences.